want to tell you, I just came from Nashville. I don't feel like I've left home. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Natalie, first of all, I want to apologize to you for the height of this podium. They fixed it for me. But Caden, thank you for all that you're doing. I want to thank all of you for all that you're doing. A lot of people think our party is kind of back on our heels right now, but we ain't going to stay there very long. We're going to get back on our toes where we belong. And one of the reasons is because of leaders like Gresham Barrett. I want you to express my appreciation for him and what he's doing. Frankly, I'm glad he is in Washington today. I feel a little bit better knowing that. Thank you, Natalie. He clearly did the same thing I did, married over his head. And I'm proud of I'm proud for both of us. I feel like that I know many of you. I've had a chance to talk to a few today. Had a chance to go over a lot of things in a short period of time. Some people, were interested in the TV show and so forth. And I was telling them that I was practicing law and had a case that turned out to be kind of a famous case. We took on a corrupt Democratic governor in Tennessee, and he went to jail, and I got in the movies. It turned out pretty good. But when I went to the Senate, I put all that away, and I was amazed at how much conversation they had even in the Senate up there about things related to showbiz. I was telling one of my buddies up there one day, it's kind of strange. People are always asking me the difference between show business and politics and so forth. And I said, well, don't you see the deal? No. He said, well, look around you. He said, politics is show business for ugly people. And he said, Thompson, you got it all covered. But I looked around me, and sure enough, it kind of made a lot of sense. I had South Carolina on my mind last week, like a lot of people in the world did. I had a chance to go to London. I got invited by a conservative Tory think tank over there to make some comments to them, and I took the opportunity to go by and see Lady Margaret Thatcher. She's had some bad health, but she looks wonderful. And she invited me to her home, and I had the opportunity to sit there and talk to her and tell her how much Americans appreciated her and how much they appreciated what she and Ronald Reagan were able to forge together. I didn't know it, but she and Reagan met when neither one of them were in public life. And she said, I had a feeling that we saw some very important things very similarly. I thought to myself, indeed you did. Indeed you did, and the whole world is better off for it. And what they did together was show that strength doesn't cause wars, but strength prevents wars. I got the opportunity to go and visit the Churchill Museum and see the war room that they had there. And my host was Winston Churchill III. You talk about a treat. He was telling things about his grandfather, right along with showing me where he sat when he did so-and-so in the room where he and Franklin Roosevelt would talk on the telephone during the war, in the map room and all that. And those sayings all over the place, that we still remember. A lot of people don't remember what politicians did, but we remember what that man said, the kinds of things that he said. And one of the things that always stuck with me, and I saw it again that day, is we've talked about his Royal Air Force, and they were hopelessly outnumbered. He did such a magnificent job. And he said, never have so many both so much and so few. And I thought back immediately because the night before that, I had been in a hotel room there and turned on BBC and saw what had happened in Charleston with those firefighters. And listened to them talking about their colleagues and how they had lost family, as it were, and tales of their bravery. It reminded me again of what I had just seen and what I just heard in Churchill's voice. Felt the same way. Also reminded me that we are the land of the free, but if we weren't the home of the brave, we wouldn't be the land of the free. And these firefighters are right alongside our soldiers in protecting our lives. The country started out that way. It's always been that way, and will remain that way for the duration of this republic. We forget these things sometimes, but it's important to look back to learn what we need to do in the future. The fact of the matter is that after the end of the Cold War, we kind of took a holiday from history. We kind of looked around the world because everybody's going democratic. One nation after another's going to go our way. Sure enough, from zero, when this nation was founded, we looked around and found most of the world now under a democratic government. So we reduced our military by about a third. We cut back on research and development about 50%, some instances, military procurement 50%. We let our intelligence capabilities wither on the vine, especially our human intelligence capability. We were attacked all over the world, from the USS Cole to the American embassies to the First World Trade Center. Didn't see a successful one, a big one, on our shores. Always thought it was over there somewhere until 9/11. Then Iraq came. We understood that we not only were not protected by the oceans anymore, but that we were fighting an enemy that looked upon the struggle with us as something that had been going on for hundreds of years. And if necessary, would go on for more hundreds of years. While we're looking for the next election, they're looking 100 years down the road to do everything to pick us off one democratic country at a time, one civilized country at a time in order to get to us if they need to. And we realize that a lot of people around the world don't understand this. They don't appreciate this. They would realize and pick up a newspaper and see what's going on in Washington and the foolishness there. All things partisan, all the energy directed inwardly instead of trying to work together to do something good for this country, even with regard to something that's important. The people in Washington, D.C. don't even understand this and the nature of it and the kinds of things that we've got to do to rectify the mistakes that we've made to get on to a better place. But we need to keep one thing in mind as we go forward and we work on these problems. We're going to get a report in November or September. General Caprice is somebody I knew and worked with back when he was at Fort Campbell. I was senator from Tennessee. A great man. I hear back. I know two families. Jerry and I have two couple friends there in Nashville, there in Virginia. We have sons who have re-upped one more than twice to fight over there. I read their emails. They send it to me full of hope, optimism, doing something good for their country. And as long as they have hope and optimism, I have hope and optimism. And I'm not going to say that. Then we need to get about being stronger and smarter for the future. And realize that this world is not safer when the United States of America appears to be weaker.
Right.
This world is more dangerous when our country appears to be weaker. And we can never let that happen. And some of our colleagues here in the United States need to learn that. This is going to be not a war of bombs. This is going to be a war of will. A war of will that we have to win.